In this video, I want to show you how to make this completely modular diesel engine power plant using create diesel generators and the create new edge mod, alongside with other mods that I will be sure to link in the description below. This is a perfectly stressed out design, which means that we are producing exactly as many stress units as we are consuming. And I will be sure to link all of the mods in the description, and also make sure to check out the video chapters if you want to skip to any specific section. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. Let's start with some basics for the create diesel generators mod. It adds 3 diesel engines: the normal diesel engine, the modular diesel engine, and finally the used diesel engine. Now for our design, of course, we are going with the used diesel engine, but here's how you can use all 3 of them. So for the normal diesel engine, just place it on a fuel line. I have biodiesel from Immersive Engineering here. And as soon as you place it and provide it with fuel, it will accept fuel from below. Basically, it will start producing stress units. Now for the modular diesel engine, you can stack it up and only provide fuel to one of it, and it will basically supply this fuel to the entire line. The more engines you have, the more stress units you are going to produce. But this one doesn't take the turbocharger upgrades like the previous diesel engine does. And finally, we have the huge diesel engine, the best one out of them all. Now the great part about this is that on a single shaft, you can stack up to 4 engines. So here's a single engine, and if I provide it with some fuel, it will start producing what, 8192 stress units from a single engine. So here I can place down a stressometer and you can see the information, and it also rotates at 128. So here's 2 of them placed opposite to each other on a single shaft, and here's 4 of them. You can also stack 3, by the way. So basically all of the stress units are added. So we are going to get what, 32,768 stress units. This is the design that I used in one of my previous builds. So here you can see we have one common shaft, and on this shaft we have 39 huge diesel generators on 2 sides, which means 78 in total. And as soon as I start supplying them with fuel, this looks incredibly satisfying. So 78 huge diesel generators is what you are going to need to perfectly balance out 8 coils from create new edge mod, spinning inside netherite magnets. And yeah, it's a perfectly stretched out system. So when now we start this build, we are going to need 2 chunk space in total. And you can compact this out even more, but yeah, I like to leave some space on the sides if you want to make a structure around it. So we start by leaving 3 blocks like this, and on the 4th block come out by 1 and place down 2 blocks, temporary blocks here, and the fluid duct from thermal dynamics. Now around this fluid duct, we are going to place our diesel generators, and with a wrench, make sure to place a connection like this, then a second connection here, and finally a third connection for the third diesel engine right here. So on this first line here, we are only going to have 3 engine, and now on the next lines we are going to have 4 in total. So here comes the first, the second, and the third, and finally the fourth. I showed you the initial design because it might be easier to build, but this one looks way cooler. So now we are going to do this 9 times in total. So we are going to have 9 rows of 4, and on the end we have 3. So that's what, 9 times 4 is 36 plus 3 is 39. So 39 engines on one side and 39 on the other side will total up to 78 engines. I'm going to quickly speed this process up. And yeah, the thermal dynamics fluid ducts are perfect for this job. So here we have, if you count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. 9 times 4 is 36. And then we add the last 3, which is 37, 38, and 39. So that's 39 engines placed. And now we connect all of them with shafts like this. And finally, we can do this process for all of these sides and start working on the next side as well. So yeah, now if you were making that old design that I showed you, then you would place a shaft in the middle, and on this shaft you would start stacking engines on all 4 sides. But yeah, so basically if you want to do that, you can do that. It will make the process of connecting the fuel line, the fluid duct that we have, a bit easier, but yeah, I like them stacked this way as the shafts look cool. Think that's the last of it, and connecting them with shafts as well. So now we have two main fuel lines in the form of fluid ducts from thermodynamics, and in the middle I'm going to make a steel fluid tank from the factory must grow, another cool mod which I will be sure to make a video on soon. So set the redstone control to high and to the maximum throughput, which is 8000 millibuckets, and make sure to control it via redstone. And if you get this weird texture bug, then don't worry, just place down the servo and it should return back to normal. And once that's done, now we are going to extend the output shafts and place down shafts on the very bottom in order to connect them all. And we are going to get our power out in this middle shaft that we have placed. So connect shafts from all of the sides like this, and now we are going to get our output from the very middle here. Now, yeah, for this step, if you are using Create Design and Decor, I highly recommend using the version 2.0, as the latest version, which is version 0.3, will instantly crash your game if you place down the large industrial cogwheel. This step is entirely optional. I'm just placing this for the looks of it. It looks good. That's why I'm placing it. So doing the same step on the other side and connect them. And yeah, by the way, these both builds are mirrored kind of. So yeah, that's that. Now extend the output shaft by 1 and we are done with the engine side of things. Let's now build the power generators, the electricity generators, in a 3x4 pattern. Place down netherite magnet in the floor, then stack them 3 up like this on both the sides, and finally on the top. You don't really need them in the corners. Inside, place down 4 generators coil, and on the end place down a brush. Do the same thing on the other side. So 39 huge diesel engines are perfect to power 4 of these generator coils exactly. Now in order to speed this up, as it's only going to rotate at 128 rpm, and we need for maximum efficiency 128, I'm going to use adjustable chain gear shift placed on a redstone block, so it's always active. So this one goes at 128, the upper one goes at 256, which is what we need. To measure this, I'm going to place down 2 speedometers, and also to see the stress that we are using a stressometer. Also place down an inverted clutch and connect it to the generator, and the inverted clutch will only work when it has a redstone signal, so make sure to place a redstone link on it. And here's the stressometer, and here we have a compact 3x2 setup for converting our speed and also monitoring it. So I'm going to do this process once again for the other side, and yeah, that's basically it. This will convert the speed and make sure our generators are running at maximum efficiency. To store all of this power that we are producing, I'm using accumulators from Create Crafts and Additions. A 3x5 will store 90 million Fe, which is kinda enough for this setup. You can of course use more accumulators if you want to. Now on the brush, place down large connectors from once again Create Crafts and Addition. Make sure to have them on the pull mode, and the ones you place on the accumulator, make sure to have them on the push mode so they can get the energy in. Connect them like this to the brush, and we are actually done. So once this entire step is complete, we can now fill the fluid tanks with biodiesel from Immersive Engineering, which is a renewable fuel. By the way, you can produce it very easily. And as soon as I start the fuel line, here goes our entire setup. And if I start this clutch, then it will start basically spinning the generators and producing power. Make sure to spin the generators a little while after the power plant has started, otherwise it will overstress the system. Each side is pulling 4.3 thousand Fe per tick, because in total this brush or this setup on each generator is producing 8.6 Fe per tick. So as you can see, our accumulator is filling up decently fast, and the main bonus is that this whole setup looks very cool. And it is a perfectly stressed out system, as I told you. Each generator coil consumes 312 stress units on a single RPM, and we are running it at 256 RPM. You multiply that by 8 and you get perfectly balanced out 78 times 8192. So yeah, that's kinda the maths, the numbers behind this whole build. It's a perfectly stressed out build. So yeah, and if you actually run into any trouble, because my game crashed like 2 to 3 times while recording this, then some of these mods are still in development. So maybe that's that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please do smash that like button and also subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Now, if you have any more ideas for me, leave them in the comment section below. And if you have any questions, also leave them in the comments. I'll try to answer them as soon as possible. Peace out, my guys, and stay safe.